Have you ever caught your dog staring at you? Again, almost like they're guarding every step you take. It might look simple, but here's the shocker. Every glance, every check-in, is your dog trying to send you a message. And trust me, it's not random. In this video, we're going to uncover 10 powerful reasons why your dog just can't stop checking on you. Some of them will surprise you, and one might even change the way you see your dog forever. Stay close, because those watchful eyes are hiding secrets you've probably never noticed. Before we jump in, if you truly love discovering the hidden world of dogs, don't forget to subscribe and be part of our family of dog lovers. You won't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's get started with reason number 1. And this one takes us back to the wild instincts your dog inherited from their wolf ancestors. Reason 1. Protective instincts. Protective instincts. That's often the very first reason your dog keeps checking on you. Long before he became your best friend, his ancestors survived by guarding their pack. A wolf didn't last long if he didn't protect his own. And that same instinct still runs in your dog's blood today. Think about it. When you sit by the window, when you walk down the driveway, when you simply rest in your chair, he's watching. Not because he doubts you, but because in his mind, you are his pack. You are the one he was born to keep safe. For men who've spent a lifetime protecting others, whether on the job in the service or even just raising a family, there's something humbling about this. You spent years being the strong one. Now the dog has taken that role for you. He's your silent bodyguard, checking in again and again, making sure no harm gets too close. And here's what's fascinating. Research shows dogs actually raise their vigilance in households with children, elderly owners, or anyone they sense as vulnerable. If you've noticed your dog becoming more watchful as you've grown older, it isn't by accident. It's his way of saying, "I've got your back now." But protection isn't the only reason behind those watchful eyes. Sometimes it's not about you at all. It's about him. And that takes us straight into the next reason. Reason 2. Searching for security. Searching for security. Just as much as your dog wants to protect you, he also looks to you for safety. His senses are sharper than yours. He hears what you can't smell, what you'll never notice. And that means he also feels threats you may not even realize are there. When he keeps checking on you sometimes, it's not because he thinks you're in danger. It's because he's trying to make sure he is safe by seeing you calm. Picture this. A truck rumbles past your house. A stranger walks too close to the gate. A sudden bang echoes from down the street. While you might shrug it off, your dog feels it in his bones. And what does he do? He comes looking for you. If you're steady, if you're relaxed, then in his world, everything is under control. For older men who live alone, this bond can feel even stronger. He may check on you more often because your presence is his anchor, his proof that the world outside those walls isn't about to fall apart. It's his way of saying, "I can handle the noise, the strangers, the dark, so long as I know you're right here." And yet not every glance, not every step at your heel is about comfort. Sometimes the reason your dog keeps checking on you is far more serious. Sometimes it's his body, not his heart, that drives him to never leave your side. Reason 3. Health issues. Health issues. This is the part many owners never want to think about, but it may be the most important reason your dog keeps checking on you. Sometimes that constant glance, that restless pacing to find where you are is not just love or loyalty. It can be a silent cry for help. Dogs, like people, face changes as they grow older. And just like an aging veteran forgetting familiar roads, a senior dog can lose his bearings. Veterinarians call it canine cognitive dysfunction, something like dementia in people. A study from the Dog Aging Project found that older dogs often become disoriented awake at night or cling to their owners because the world suddenly feels unfamiliar. So if your dog checks on you more in the dark hours, it may not be habit, it may be fear, confusion, or even pain. Other health problems can trigger the same behavior. Seizures, arthritis, even chronic pain can drive a dog to look for comfort the only place he knows, by your side. He doesn't have the words to tell you his joints ache or that something feels wrong in his head. All he can do is follow you as if staying close might steady him. For men who've spent their lives toughing it out, it's not always easy to see vulnerability. But when your dog begins checking on you more than ever, don't dismiss it as clinginess. It may be the only way he can say, "I need help." And the sooner you notice, the better chance you give him to live those years beside you with strength and peace. But health is only one part of the story. Because sometimes your dog's watchful eyes aren't born from pain. They're born from a different kind of need, one that pulls him closer with invisible threads. Reason 4. Velcro dog syndrome. Separation anxiety. Velcro dog syndrome. Some call it separation anxiety. Either way, it's the reason some dogs just cannot let you out of their sight. You stand, he stands. You move across the room, he's already at your heels. For many owners, it feels flattering at first. But behind those loyal steps, there may be something heavier: fear of being left alone. Think about rescue dogs. Many carry scars you can't see. Abandonment, abuse, too many homes in too few years. To them, your presence isn't just comfort, it's survival. So they cling, they shadow you, they check and check again, terrified that the one person they finally trust might disappear. And it isn't only rescues. Certain breeds bred to work side by side with people are wired to attach more deeply. Army service dogs, for example, often bond so strongly with their handlers that even years later they still cannot rest unless they know where their person is. Here's what research tells us: nearly 1 in 5 dogs show signs of separation-related behavior. Whining, pacing, panting, scratching at the door, or simply watching you like a hawk. It's their way of fighting back against panic they don't understand. For a man who's given his life to service or long shifts away from home, it can feel strange to see such dependence. But for the dog, it isn't weakness. It's devotion. And sometimes, it's a plea. Don't leave me. I can't bear it. The good news: gentle training, patience, and simple routines can ease that anxiety. Still, the next time your dog follows you room to room, don't brush it off. He may not be asking for food or play. He may be asking for reassurance that you will always return. And yet not every glance is about fear. Some checks are lighter, brighter, almost playful. Which brings us to the next reason. Reason 5. Need for play and engagement. Need for play and engagement. Not every glance, not every step behind you comes from fear or protection. Sometimes it's as simple as this: your dog just wants to have fun with you. He's checking on you the way a child peeks into a room hoping you'll put down the paper and throw the ball. Dogs are social creatures. Play isn't just a luxury. It's how they connect, how they burn energy, how they feel alive. For many older men at home, the dog becomes the daily spark, the one who nudges you from your chair, the one who reminds you that life isn't just about sitting still. When he checks on you, it might be his way of saying, "Are you ready yet? Can we do something together?" But here's where it gets tricky. If your dog is constantly asking, constantly hovering, it may also mean he's not getting enough stimulation. And that's where play turns into need. A game of tug, a short walk, even a puzzle toy can make the difference between a restless shadow and a content companion. So when your dog looks in on you with that hopeful glance, don't always dismiss it as clinginess. Sometimes it's an invitation, a chance to laugh, to move, to remember that both of you still have energy to spend. But play isn't the only reason he checks on you. Sometimes you may have unknowingly trained him to do it. And that leads us straight to the next reason. Reason 6. Positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. Without even knowing it, you may have trained your dog to check on you again and again. Every time he walks into the room and you smile, pat his head, or hand out a little treat, you're sending him a message. This is good. Do it again. Dogs are quick learners, and they don't need many repetitions to connect the dots. Think about it. Maybe he comes in, you say his name in that softer voice you don't use with anyone else. Maybe you scratch behind his ears. Or maybe after a long day, you tell him he's a good boy just for showing up at your side. To you, it's habit. To him, it's a reward. And that reward is powerful enough to make him check on you more often, hoping for the same warm response. It's not a bad thing. After all, every touch, every word builds the bond you share. But it does mean that what looks like clingy behavior may partly be something you created. And if it ever becomes too much, the solution isn't punishment. It's balance. Redirect his focus with toys, with small tasks, with moments where he can feel proud on his own. Because your dog isn't just looking for affection, he's looking for direction. And when your daily rhythm shifts, when the routine he counts on is disturbed, his watchful eyes may grow even more persistent. Which brings us to the next reason. Reason 7. Routines and habits. Routines and habits. Dogs live for them. In a world that can feel unpredictable, routine is what makes life steady, safe, and clear. That's why your dog checks on you when mealtime runs a little late, or when you haven't reached for the leash at the usual hour. He isn't nagging, he's making sure the order of his world hasn't fallen apart. For men who've spent decades following schedules, shift work, long drives, service duty, this should feel familiar. You lived by the clock, and now so does your dog. If dinner is at 6, he knows it. If the walk is at 9, he's waiting at the door. And when something feels off, when the rhythm changes, he comes to you. Checking, reminding, asking, did you forget, is everything still the same? There's comfort in this for both of you. His routine keeps him calm, and it gives you a reason to move, to keep time with another heartbeat in the house. But there's also a subtle tension, because the more he relies on that pattern, the more he needs you to hold it together. And here's the fascinating part. His checking isn't only about meals and walks. Sometimes it's about letting you know something is happening beyond the routine, something you might not have noticed yet. And that takes us to the next reason. Reason 8. Communication of events. Communication of events. Your dog isn't only watching you, he's also watching the world around you. And sometimes he checks on you because he wants you to know what's happening. A strange noise outside a car pulling into the drive, the neighbor's cat slipping across the yard, he sees it all before you do. And instead of keeping it to himself, he comes looking for you as if to say, something's out there. Do you see it too? This isn't just instinct, it's loyalty. For many men who've spent their lives depending on trust, trust in a partner, trust in a crew, the idea that your dog acts as your lookout feels almost sacred. He becomes your early warning system, not just a companion, but a sentinel. What makes it powerful is the way he insists on involving you. He doesn't just bark at the window and leave it at that. He runs back checks your face, waits for your reaction. He wants you to be part of the moment. In his mind, you're the leader of the pack, and no event is complete until you've been told. But here's the part that hits the hardest. Sometimes He doesn't come back to you just because of the outside world. Sometimes he checks in because the world he cares most about is you. And that brings us to the most powerful reason of all. Reason 9, love and companionship. Love and companionship. Strip away all the science, all the instincts, and all the training, and this is what remains. Sometimes your dog checks on you simply because he loves you. No conditions, no agenda, just love in its purest form. For men who've carried weight their whole lives, firefighters, soldiers, truck drivers, the world rarely handed you softness. You were expected to be steady, silent, unshaken. But your dog doesn't see you as the tough man the world demanded. He sees you as his person, the one whose presence is the center of his universe. And when he checks on you, what he's really saying is, I need to see you. I need to know you're here, because that's what makes me whole. Science backs this up. Researchers studying the human-canine bond found it works like the bond between a child and a parent. Dogs use us as their safe haven. When we're present, their stress drops, their heartbeat steadies, and their world feels safe. That's why so many of you have written, "She's all I've got," or "He kept me alive after I lost my wife." These aren't just words. They're proof of how deep this bond runs. And here's what's remarkable. Love makes a dog do things no instinct alone can explain. He lies by your feet, even when the floor is hard. He wakes in the middle of the night just to check if you're breathing. He gives you the kind of loyalty people sometimes fail to give. It's no wonder so many say, "He's not my dog, he's my son." Because when he looks in on you, what he's really giving is more than companionship. He's giving you the one thing every man longs for, but rarely admits the certainty that you are not and never will be alone. But love, as powerful as it is, isn't the final word. There's still one more reason your dog checks on you, and it's hidden in his nature, as old as curiosity itself. Reason 10. Natural curiosity. Natural curiosity. Sometimes your dog isn't protecting you, isn't anxious, and isn't even asking for food or play. Sometimes he's simply curious about you. Dogs are born explorers. They sniff, they watch, they investigate. And when you're the most important part of their world naturally, you become the biggest mystery worth checking on. Think of the little moments. You pour your morning coffee, and he peers around the corner. You shuffle through old boxes in the garage, and suddenly, he's right there, nose in the dust. Even when you sit quietly, he might nudge the door open just to see what you're doing. In his mind, everything you do matters, and he doesn't want to miss a second of it. For older men who spend most days at home, this curiosity can feel like companionship itself. The dog isn't just wandering, he's choosing you as the most interesting part of his day. And while it might seem small, those little check-ins are his way of saying, whatever you're doing, I want to be part of it. But here's the beauty of it. Curiosity keeps him engaged, keeps him learning, keeps him alive. And every time he checks on you out of pure interest, he's reminding you of something we often forget. Even in the quiet routines of life, there is wonder. And with that, we circle back to the bigger picture because all these reasons, from love to protection to curiosity, lead us to one truth every dog owner needs to hear. So what does it really mean when your dog keeps checking on you, from the instincts he carries in his blood to the comfort he finds in your presence, to the possibility of hidden health concerns? Every glance, every step, every moment of watchful eyes tells a story. Sometimes it's about protection. Sometimes it's about fear. But more often than not, it's about love, the kind that doesn't ask for anything in return. Think back to the moments we began with. You in your chair, him watching, You walking down the hall, him following. Maybe it seemed small then. Now you know it's not. It's his language. It's his way of saying, I'm here, you matter, and I will not let you be alone. And isn't that what so many of us need? For the man who's carried weight all his life, who's lost more than he ever thought he could bear? The dog is not just a pet. He's the one steady soul who checks in again and again, reminding you that you are seen, that you are loved. Here's the truth. When your dog looks in on you, it's not a weakness. It's not just habit. It's devotion. It's his entire heart walking toward you on four legs. And once you see it for what it is, you'll never look at him the same way again. Now I want to hear from you. Does your dog keep checking on you too? Share your story in the comments. I read them, and I know others do as well. Your words might be the reminder another owner needs that they are not alone in this bond. And if you found this video meaningful, don't forget to subscribe. Join our community of dog lovers, where every week we dive deeper into the loyalty, mystery, and beauty of the dogs who share our lives. Before you go, here's something to think about. If your dog checks on you this much, could it be because in his heart he sees you as more than an owner? In our next video, we'll explore the signs that your dog may see you as his parent, his protector, even his mother figure. Don't miss it, because every look, every step, every moment of loyalty leads to this truth: you are not just living with a dog. You are living with love.